Hello, Ian Anson Gray here. It's episode 45 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. Great to be here. I'm going to be broadcasting, I am broadcasting in fact, on Facebook, LinkedIn Live, Periscope, and a few other places as well. So it's great to be here. So if you're watching the replay, if you could just let me know, just put hashtag replay in the comments, that would be awesome. Today, I'm going to be talking about remote working with Zoom and Streamyard. So obviously at the moment, in many parts of the world, we're in a bit of a weird time of it at the moment. A lot of people have been sent home. They're working from home, remote working. This is like a new thing for many people. And so I thought I'd share a few of the tips that I've learned over the years of working from home. And I'm going to be sharing about Zoom, the tool Zoom, which is really awesome, and also StreamYard. So today, talking about remote working with Zoom and StreamYard. So if you don't know, Zoom is similar to Skype in that it's a video conferencing tool and allows you to have meetings remotely with other people. In fact, up to 100 people, which is awesome. So that's great. So if you could also let me know if the audio and video are working okay, because I had a few technical problems last week, which I think I've ironed out. I hope I have. All seems to be working okay. So that's cool. So I'm just going to check whether anyone and everything's working on LinkedIn. That's cool. And I also wanted to just ask, if you are watching this live, let me know where in the world you're from, if you are working remotely. I'd also love to know what the experiences you have had with this. Have you got kids at home at the moment? Have you, I don't know, just are you going mad? Let me know. I'd love to support you and encourage you as well. And if you've got any questions or any pieces of advice, I'd love to hear from you. We've also got some special guests coming in today because I'm going to be sharing about how to use Zoom, and I'm going to try and bring in some people on to Zoom, and I'm going to try and share that. So there's a lot of technical stuff going on. We'll see what happens. So let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know if you're working remotely from home and what the problems are. I've heard from a lot of people over the last few days who have been crying out for help. And this is where technology can really help. So that's what we're going to be talking about on this show, which is awesome. Right. Well, I think it's time to get on with the show. I'm just looking for the button, which seems to have gone. Where's the button gone? Come on, button. The button that I need to start the show has disappeared. There we go. No, I find it now. This is the other problem that I had last week. My Stream Deck, which is this little device here, if I can hold it up to the camera. So this is my little, it basically has lots of buttons that I press to change the scenes. And that wasn't working last week. Now it is, but now I can't even find where the button is. Great. Well, I can see loads of comments coming through. I will get through to those comments. I can see some comments on LinkedIn. I can see some comments on Facebook, YouTube, which is awesome. It's great to see you guys. I will get back to those comments just after this. See you in a bit.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's Ian Anson Gray. This is episode 45 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. Very excited to be here. If you want to find out the show notes, if you're listening to the podcast, all you need to do is go to iag.me/45. That's iag.me/45. So at the moment, we're living in some very strange times, and I've actually just mixed up my schedule a little bit and put this episode in as a special because I know so many people are working from home at the moment. They're remotely working. Some people are struggling because the kind of jobs that they have really rely on meeting people face to face. So I've been speaking with people who are dance teachers, who are music teachers, and this is a really, really challenging time. So I wanted to share some ideas, some thoughts. I'm not an expert on everything, obviously. So I'd love to hear from you guys and what you have been, maybe some of the things that you've been struggling with, and maybe some of the things that you have done to really help. Which is awesome. I'm just going to bring in some comments because I've got some awesome comments. People watching all over the place, which is great. So Martin Buckland is here. He says, boo. You're from Toronto, Canada, aren't you? Sasha is here saying it's all working fine, which is great. And Jacqueline says the same. That's awesome. Fabulous. Now we've got some people watching in my Facebook group. Unfortunately, because the way Facebook works, I'm not able to bring it. I don't know who this is, the name of the person. You have to actually click on a special link to give your permission to put your name on there. So we've got a Facebook user who says perfectly, and then says, are you streaming now using Zoom and Streamyard? No, not at the moment. I'm actually using Ecamm Live and Streamyard combined. This is not necessarily something I'd recommend. I'm not going to go into all the technical stuff of that, but today I'm going to be talking about Zoom and Streamyard. Eric is here from Switzerland, and yes, working from home as always. Jacqueline says, UK, working from home office, normal for me. Tip, get outside. I had a coffee in the sun in my garden. Definitely. Lisa's from Australia. Louise is here who says, thanks so much, Ian. I've been on the phone today helping clients feeling the stress of it all, sharing tips too for working from home so that you can stay sane and healthy. Louise, love your show. Oh, thank you so much. Tim Sawn is here. And David Trott says, hello from London. Yes, back to home working. And then finally, Charmaine Barber here from Germany, which is awesome. We've also got Dewi Jones, who's looking on LinkedIn, which is awesome. And Dewi, thank you so much for your help on Facebook. We were having this big chat about how churches can live stream their services, and this is another thing that I'm going to be talking about. So the technical side of things, the tech is something that I know a lot about, but the issue was the whole issue of copyright, and if you're going to be playing and singing songs, all of that. So we'll talk about that another time. Yes, and Andy says green screen or real brick. Yes, it is a green screen that I'm using. There we go. Bye green screen. So there we go. Anyway, yeah, so just a bit of an intro to the show before I bring in my first sponsor. We just found out at the weekend that the music college, this is the Royal Northern College of Music here in Manchester, that both my wife and I teach. I only teach on Saturdays. I still do a bit of singing teaching, but my wife teaches there a lot. That has now shut down and it's moving over to remote learning only. And so this really started getting me thinking, so many more of us are going to have to do that. I mean, some of us are doing it all the time. So many businesses are sending their employees home to work remotely. And so I wanted to cover over the next couple of shows different tips and techniques on how you could work effectively from home, how you stream events, stream church services as well. And I'm hoping to get a few people from different companies that specialize in this as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking today about Zoom and StreamYard, which is going to be awesome. But first, it's time for my first sponsor, which is Content 10x. Now, if you're going to be using live streaming for your business, and I know a lot of people that will be tuning in today who maybe aren't doing it focused on their business, but if you are, then you want to make effective use of your time when you're doing your live streams. And this is where content repurposing really comes into it. Content 10x are experts in content repurposing, and they provide a full end-to-end content repurposing service. So the great thing about this is you create your live content like I'm doing today. I'm going live. I've obviously planned what I'm doing, but then I can then take this and make it into a podcast, into a blog post, into a series of social media images. And this is the whole power of content repurposing. It just is so much easier to create lots of content from one piece of pillar content. And so Content 10x will do this for you. They will repurpose your live shows into blog posts, podcast episodes, videos, social media images, helping you reach new audiences, and so that you can save time and focus on building your business. So you can either rely on their services, or if you want to do this yourself, they have an awesome blog, podcast, and now a book, the Content 10X book, which is packed with great advice on all things repurposing. So you can find out more at content10x.com. And I thank you so much, Amy, and the wonderful team at Content 10X for sponsoring this show and making it happen. Awesome. Right. Zoom. Zoom, if you have not heard of, is a tool that helps you meet with other people virtually. But before I talk more about Zoom, I wanted just to talk about some of the challenges that many of us have at the moment. And I think obviously it's a very challenging time for many of us. I think one of the big problems that I think a lot of us are going to have is that we could end up becoming a little bit depressed, or our mood is going to get a little bit low, because working from home, it's great and I love it, but sometimes you can get a bit of cabin fever. Do you suffer from cabin fever? I mean, I'm an introvert. I love working on my own, but even I need to get out. I need to talk with people, definitely need to talk to people. And so yeah, it can be depressing. It can be stressful as well. And so if you have any tips in the comments, then let us know. If you have any tips on how you get over those things. And of course, the other thing is, if your kids are off school, if you have kids, if they're off school, then you've got to kind of entertain them as well, which is interesting. Mark Schaefer, my good friend Mark Schaefer, he is awesome. He just shared on Facebook recently about the power of flowers. And particularly for older people, flowers have apparently been shown to really lift your spirits. I mean, I don't think you necessarily need psychologists to tell us that. I think they do. I think plants, animals, flowers definitely make a big difference. So instead of just having a green screen behind you, put some flowers and some nice, make a real effort on making your office feel and look bright and colorful. Flowers and plants. Open your window. I know it might be cold, but just get a bit of air and space into your house. Get some daylight as well. I've actually got my curtains closed, but normally I'd have them open, and that makes a big difference. Bit of vitamin D. If you can, get out into the garden, go for a walk. So I can't remember who said this earlier. Somebody mentioned this. Who was it? Yeah. Anyway, get into the garden. If you can go for a walk, that's really, really help. And get some exercise. So one of the things I'm going to do with the kids, if the schools do close, I don't know, is to get them doing exercise. There are great YouTube videos. My wife Helen, she is a big believer in Pilates, and she subscribes to pilatesanytime.com. So that's really cool. It's like Netflix for Pilates. A few other things. Structure your day. Make sure you plan it. So you may need to plan this around other things that you're needing to do in the day. So maybe you need to get up early. Maybe you need to go to bed early. You need to restructure your day. But don't just do work. Have some fun. Maybe read a book. Why don't you sing? I know I trained as a singer and singing is my thing, but actually, again, singing has been shown to really increase those endorphins, make you feel happy. So just have a little sing. It doesn't need to be in tune. Just have a bit of fun and enjoy that. Speak with people regularly. And this is why Zoom is going to really help. It's going to allow you to talk with people remotely. Just have a plan to restructure the way you work. And because, yes, you may be in a position, such as some of my musical friends and my dance friends who are teaching. You may not be able to go into those establishments now, but there may be some other opportunities. You can maybe be able to create online courses and online masterclasses. So do think about that, which is awesome. So some comments. We've got Royson from Ireland. Hi from Ireland. I love your pop-up green screen. Can you share where you purchased it from? So yes, I can. This is the Elgato green screen. So I'll just go to this. Obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see this, but you can look at the video. So this is it's called the Elgato green screen. It's really awesome. You just pull it up from the floor, and it's great. So obviously this is great for a small office like mine. It's not particularly cheap. It's around, I think the last time I looked at it, 130, 140 pounds, $150. It may have gone a little bit cheaper than that, but that's pretty cool. Anyway, back to that. So, so you can get that on Amazon and similar things. Shonich says on LinkedIn, this guy's great. Jumpstartjohnny.co.uk/home. I don't know anything about that, but let me know, Shonich, a bit more about that. That'd be cool. Heather says, I love to sing too. Awesome. And Jacqueline says, yoga is great too. I love yoga with Adrienne YouTube videos. Yeah, yoga is great too. I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with doing, which is awesome. Okay, so and Louise has said listed some really cool comments, which I'll come back to, Louise. That's awesome. But I do want to get on with Zoom, and because I've got some lovely people coming on the show. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just shut down these. In fact, let me just share my screen now. So you can now see this is me recording my podcast. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to, let me just do it over here. And I'm going to go to my Zoom. And I'll just take you through this. Zoom. So Zoom is completely free, which is cool. So hopefully you can see that. Zoom.us is the website. They've got different plans. And also, just to let you know, I'll put this link in the show notes and in the comments, but basically at the moment, the CEO of Zoom have said that any schools, universities and colleges, I think this is worldwide, it's a little bit vague, but basically he's giving effectively the pro plan for free, which means that there is no restriction on the time limit. So if your school, university or college has been affected by the coronavirus, they're removing the 40-minute limit on group meetings. So on the free plan, you can host up to 100 participants and you can have unlimited one-to-one meetings, but there is a limit usually of 40 minutes. Now, that's actually pretty good. For most people, 40 minutes is going to be okay. And if once you get booted off, you can then go back on again. So it's not like a massive deal. What does it say here? So it says, I think you just hover over it. So Zoom offers a full featured basic plan for free with unlimited meetings. Try Zoom for as long as you like. There is no trial period. The basic plan has 40 minutes time limit on meetings with 3 or more total participants. Okay. So need groups meetings to last more than 40 minutes. So if you have more than 3 or 4 three or more total participants, it will be capped at 40 minutes unless you apply for this extension because of the crisis that we're in at the moment. I have the pro plan. This is around $15 per month. And that just removes that limit totally. And it has a few extra things as well. It also records the video as well. So if you want to record your video for later, that's really cool. So for $15 per month. So I'm just going to load up Zoom. And I'm just going to put it over here. Where's it gone? Okay, so hold on a minute. I'll move on to the other screen. I'm going to just move on to my FaceTime camera. So hopefully you can see that okay. So this is Zoom. And you can see my webcam there my webcam there. Hello, this is my FaceTime webcam. And at the bottom, you can see I've got my microphone, I've got my video. I don't have to share my video if I don't want to, so I can just share I can just show my nice face, but I can then select which microphone I want to use. Which camera I want to use. So I can choose if I have an external webcam or if I've just got my built-in webcam, I can do that as well. I can even choose a virtual web background, which is cool. So I can just by going over here, I can choose one of these backgrounds. I have to download that though. I'm not going to do that. Okay. But if you really wanted to do that. And then with microphones, you then just choose which microphone and which speakers you want. For most people, it's going to be fine. But ideally, I would use your headphones. So just plug it. So I've got my speaker as my headphones there, and then just choose the microphone. So I could choose my inbuilt microphone there, but I'm currently using a different microphone just for better quality. So that's how you do it. Right, cool. So I'm going to bring in some people. So what you do here is once you've set up a meeting, I'm just writing a little note in my Facebook Messenger group. So There we go. Okay, so I can see there at the bottom, I've got manage participants. I've also got an invite link, so I can create a link and then send that to people to bring them in. And I can have up to 100 people in this chat. Either all of them can share their video, or they can just watch my video. They don't have to share anything. So I can see there are currently 3 people that are waiting to enter, which is awesome. So hopefully you can hear these people. I will get back to comments in a little bit, but we've got Sasha here, Amanda and Heather. So let's admit them now. So admit. Great. Okay. So there we go. Hello. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Hello. Oh dear.
I can hear.
Oh, you can hear. Awesome. I'm just going to change my microphone on there. Cool. So I'm currently on gallery view, but no, not gallery view. This is solo view, isn't it? What's it called? Speaker view. But I'm going to move to gallery view. So can you all hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fab. Do you want to just introduce yourselves? So Amanda, I think you're first. I can see you at the top.
Hello, I'm Amanda from Spiderworking, wearing a hat because my hair was rubbish.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. And you were on the show last week, which is great.
Yes.
Just also, if you're watching, can you just let me know whether you can hear Zoom? Because but basically I'm running 3 programs at the same time. Awesome, Amanda. That's great. And then Heather, you're next. I can see you at the bottom.
Yes, howdy from Dallas. I'm Heather Nichols.
Awesome. It's great to see you, Heather. And we saw each other last week, didn't we? Or was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Social media marketing world. Yes, that was our last bit in the real world before being having to go back into the home. So awesome. Hi. And then we've got Sacha here. Hi.
Hi, Ian. Yeah, Sasha Lydiard, Think Outside the Box. How are you doing? All right?
I'm good. I've just realized I'm kind of in the way of you. I'm just going to have to move over here. There we go. No, it's my problem because I've got picture-in-picture. So cool. Well, thank you guys. So have you all used Zoom before?
Yeah, I use it every day.
Yes. Awesome. And what do you think? So Amanda, I'm going to ask you this. Amanda, what do you think are the pros and cons with Zoom? Do you think this is going to be a really helpful resource for people?
I do love Zoom. It's very easy to set up meetings, send links, add calendars. I think the downside is for the people that come on board, it's sometimes difficult for them to find. I'm on a Mac as well, so I can't tell people on a PC where the settings are. So for them to find the settings for how to switch their microphone on, how to switch their video on, that can be complicated, even if I send them tutorials in advance.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, isn't it? I think so for me, I'm on a Mac at the moment. All the settings are at the bottom, so I do try and tell people to just mess around with the microphone and audio settings. But of course, if they can't hear you, it's a bit difficult, isn't it?
And then to open up the chat box, to try and get them to open up the chat box so you can type into it to tell them. Right. It's just not as intuitive as it could be. But I honestly couldn't run my business without it. So it's a small grumble. Yeah. I tend to get them on eventually. Yeah,
it's definitely worth doing. Spending a bit of time. So I've definitely played around with it a lot. How about you, Heather? How have you gone on with Zoom, and what's the kind of pros and cons do you think?
Yeah, I was just on a Zoom call with 6 other people just less than an hour ago. Especially with what's happening in society right now, this is where we're going to be able to foster relationships, and it feels so much like you're almost in person. If you were to see each other in person again, this has actually happened to me. I could have sworn we had already met. We hadn't, but it felt like we had.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, so, I think that's going to happen a lot more. That we have to meet remotely like this, and then you kind of like there was a blurring between the real world and the virtual world, and that's definitely happened to me a lot.
Yeah, so I think akin to what Amanda was talking about, it's really for people who the challenge I find that is with the people who aren't familiar or use Zoom very often. They're the ones not being the hosts, but the ones coming in. getting them accustomed to how to navigate and feel like they have some control over their experience with Zoom also. So I think it's really just over time and repetition. And maybe now, again, back because of the condition of the planet at the minute, maybe people will get a little bit more repetition more frequently now and become more comfortable. I'm hoping that what you're doing today, Ian, will encourage some people to go stick their toe in the water and that they're going to have support. You offer fantastic support. Your community does. So I hope that they will just muster up enough bravery just to try it, and then we'll all help them succeed.
Well, yeah. So you're so right, and it's a lot of it comes down to confidence with the tech, but it's also confidence in getting in front of the camera. I've shared this before on the show, but I remember when Google Hangouts on Air was a thing, years ago, and I remember being so scared about going on the first time, and I would never in a million years think I would be doing lots of live shows. So sometimes it can be actually getting in front of the camera, it can be a scary thing, but it's I think it's going to get a lot of people out of the shells and doing it. How about you, Sasha? How do you use Zoom?
I use it a lot. I mean, daily. I think I use Zoom. I use it when I'm talking to my clients, but I do quite a lot of coaching using it and get them to record it their end as well. So that's been really useful. I mean, I used to use Skype, but you can't record that. So that's a massive advantage with Zoom, is them being able to record as well as you being able to record. And I also use it to share my mobile phone. So if I'm wanting to show somebody on the mobile phone what I'm doing, that's great with Zoom. Really, really easy. And I use it to actually record and do actual videos from Zoom. So sometimes I'm on Zoom just on my own recording stuff because it's so good with sharing your mobile phone. So I need to I use that for a lot.
Can I add a comment to what Sasha's saying here?
Of course.
So I'm talking about the recordings. I think there is so much even more potential there with ability to be able to repurpose that material, whatever you've come up with. Of course, we can, self-assess, grade how did we do on our recording, but then finding the opportunities to either trim it down, edit it, turn it into blog post content, and all sorts of things. So I think that even our bad material can be repurposed somewhere within that, and Zoom allows us to have that recording.
Definitely.
And make those edits. So I think that's truly powerful. So live for sure. Obviously, that gives you a whole bunch of traction, but to not discount the fact that you have the recordings available in Zoom to go and repurpose and reharvest again and again.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, definitely. It being able to record it is great. And I think was it you, Heather, that or was it Sasha who was saying that just using it on their own without any guests? So I think that's really cool. And the other thing to bear in mind, you can make this as complicated as you want, but keep it simple. Start simple. Don't worry about all these extra things we've been talking about. You can actually live stream your Zooms as well, but to begin with, just keep it simple and have a little play. What I've done is just get a friend and we'll just play around with all the tech. Are there any little hacks or any tips you guys would like to share in terms of Zoom, in terms of things that you found really helpful in the settings?
I like the fact you can break out into rooms as well. That's really useful. Especially I think Amanda was doing were you planning to do
Planning to, yes, but I'm wondering, is that a little bit too high level for my students yet?
I've done it a few times, and it's really easy. And so send people off into another room. So it's just exactly the same as you would have a meeting, and sometimes have something that's a bit private. So go off into a little breakout room and come back in. So
just to give that context, the reason I was thinking of doing it, and I can't remember who suggested it, was I'm doing a lot of my in-person trainings online now, and to give them the classroom feeling, I want them to be able to engage and interact. So by bringing them into the smaller rooms rather than having 20 of them on a call, they get to work together still, which is what I would do in the real world.
Definitely.
That's smart, super smart.
That's cool. That's cool. Any other tips, guys, before we go on to the next bit? No, I think
we may be able to go on endlessly with tips, but I will say I liked your green screen so much I had to get it.
No, I've got to get a green screen.
The same one. I got the Elgato that does a pop-up banner, easy collapse, very portable. Love it. It's so perfect.
Well, I think, I'm a big believer in bootstrapping your live video studio. Start simply. All you need is, and actually at the moment, this webcam I'm using is my integrated webcam. It's not amazing, but it's fine. It's fine for those meetings. You could also do Zoom from your phone as well, and your iPad or Android tablet, which is really cool. And so just keep it simple. You can do lots of really, really cool things with Zoom, and that's awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Oh, the other thing is, by the way, you've got this waiting room, so you can get people to. You don't have to get people to come on straight away. You can get them waiting before you allow them in. One final point, just which I wanted to kind of demonstrate with you guys, is that for some people who are doing more creative things, like people in the music industry or dancing, I'm not asking you guys to sing now, but what I wanted to demonstrate is if we could maybe try and clap our hands together. One of the problems is that there is a delay, and so actually if you're going to be doing music together then you can't do that. So I'm just going to count to 3, and then if we can clap 5 times, you'll notice that we're all slightly out of sync. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're all over the place. So that's the only thing. You're obviously going to have to try and change the way things work with Zoom. Or any kind of platform like that. But that's cool. Well, thanks, guys. I'm going to end this meeting. And then I think some of you, if you're around, if you can come back and I'll demonstrate Streamyard in a little bit. But thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I need to go get the other window up to see how... now, where's it gone? Too many things going on. I'm actually technically at the moment using... too many tools at the same time. There we go. I'm using Streamyard and I'm using Ecom Live at the same time. So yeah, have you got any questions about Zoom? I hope I've demystified it a little bit. Remember, it doesn't need to be complicated. Just keep it nice and simple. Okay, before I get on to my next sponsor, I wanted to bring in a couple of comments. So Louise left us a really, really cool comment before, which is tips to stay sane working from home. Number 1 is set a schedule and stick to it so that work doesn't eat into your personal time. Great point. Number 2, stay clutter free. Oh my goodness, yes. No piles of ironing in your vision, for example. Number 3, get outside for fresh air and exercise. And by the way, yeah, just going back to that stay clutter free, I think if you have piles of ironing over there, you're just ironing it and you know that it's kind of calling to you saying, I need to be ironed, iron me, put it away, and so just you need to focus on what you're doing at the time. Number 4 is eat as healthily as you can. Just a few tips from me. That's awesome. If you've got any more tips, Louise, that'd be great. Ian Butterfield from earlier says, as a photographer trainer, I'm putting my efforts into converting my training into online, and I'm providing my subscribers with hints and tips on things they can photograph at home. That's a really, really cool idea, which is awesome. Any more? I've got loads of comments. Rhonda saying, yes, Heather, totally agree. I met so many people for the first time at Social Media Marketing World and felt like I already knew them. Jacqueline says, I want to know more about how to break the breakout rooms, if I can speak properly. Yeah, there's a whole help set up on Zoom that you can find out a little bit more about breakout rooms. So basically you can have a meeting of say 50 people or 100 people, and then with Zoom what you can then do is say you can then have 10 say 4 lots of 10 of you going into separate rooms. I've not actually done that before. That's a bit more advanced, but there's a whole section in Zoom that will tell you how to do that. And I think classes are really going to find that useful. So if anyone knows a bit more about breakout rooms, then if you could put it in the comments, that'd be awesome. Rhonda says, we use Zoom daily. We have an international team that is entirely virtual and use tools like Zoom and a few others to help us communicate effectively around the projects, which is great. And I think earlier on I saw SmarterQ are here. So SmarterQ are an awesome social media management tool, and they say it's business as usual for the SmarterQ team as we are fully remote. So yeah, I think a lot of teams, a lot of tech teams are already on this. But if you are new to this, welcome. We're here to help. So don't worry. Cool. So, right. So I was going to then talk about the next tool, which is Streamyard. And that's quite handy because they are my next sponsors. So Streamyard is awesome. Streamyard is one of my top live video streaming tool recommendations. It is, in fact, my top recommended web app tool. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Streamyard in a bit, but just some basics about it. First of all, it works in your browser, so it will work for either Mac or PC users. It's incredibly simple to use and has some amazing features, such as being able to highlight comments on the screen and add your own titles, being able to have up to 5 guests onto your show without any extra software, being able to share your screen. So that was one thing I forgot to show you with Zoom. You can share your screen with Zoom, but you could also do this with StreamYard as well, and also your guests can share their screen. You can also add brand colors, and you can stream to Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube. And you can now use your green screen with this, which is awesome. All of that is on the free version of the tool, which is amazing. Now, if you go for one of the paid platforms, the paid versions of the tool, you get even more. So you're able to add your own logo, you can add overlays, backgrounds, videos, and you can multicast up to 5 destinations. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm currently broadcasting to Facebook, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and Periscope all at the same time, which is awesome. So there is a great deal for Confident Live marketing viewers and listeners from StreamYard. Thank you so much, StreamYard. If you sign up for the annual plan, you'll get a 16% discount. And for everyone, you'll get a 30-day free trial. So if you want to find out more, all you need to do is go to iag.me/StreamYard. That's iag.me/StreamYard, which is awesome. Great. Also, so yeah, Rhonda says people can also call into Zoom if they feel a little uncomfortable about being into video. So lots of options for getting comfortable. Yeah, that's a really good point. So with Zoom, you can actually give people a phone number to phone. So they don't have to get on camera. You can just give them a phone number and do it over the phone. In fact, you can do that as a host. You don't actually have to use the software at all. So StreamYard. Let me get my setup here so that I can show you a little bit more about StreamYard, because it is an awesome tool. So where's StreamYard gone? Hold on. Right, I've got too many windows open. Is that the one I want? No, it's not. There we go. That's the one I want. StreamYard. Okay, so hopefully you can see that okay. Okay, so StreamYard. So this is actually what I'm using. So actually, I'll just go over there. You'll probably see, if you're watching this, you'll be able to see a very strange occurrence there. But you can see my comments there on the right, so I can see all the comments from all my different platforms that I'm streaming to. I can also see Sasha there waiting to be brought in. But yeah, just a little bit about StreamYard. So it works in the web. You don't need to download any extra software for this, and it's perfect for small meetings. So you can have up to 5 extra people, 6 including you on the live video. You can just record the video for later, which is awesome, or you can stream to one of those platforms that I mentioned. So it works with YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So yeah, on the free version, you've got 6 on-screen participants. You've got screen sharing. You can add banners, on-screen comments. You can add green screen, all those kind of things. But on the paid versions, you can add your own logo. You can add overlays, backgrounds. You can do something called custom RTMP destinations. Basically, that means you can stream to wherever you want, which is awesome. You can record as well up to 4 hours, and it's also got the multicasting, which is great. But let me just show you, if I just go here. So just to set this up. Okay, so if I want to create a broadcast here, I can then just select which places I want to go live to. So that's my Facebook page. That's a test Facebook group. That's LinkedIn Live. And then I just type in the title and the description in there, just like that. And then I can customize the description for later. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring in these lovely people into StreamYard if they're still around. So StreamYard, here we go. Have you got the link? So what? So here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to StreamYard here. I can see that Sasha is there at the bottom. So just wait for them to get onto the link. And I'm just going to click on that. So, okay. So with StreamYard, the great thing about StreamYard is that, so in fact, what I'm going to show you is my screen. So you can see there at the bottom that you can see me is there on the left. I've got Sasha there, and then Amanda is there as well. So I can then just add them to the stream very, very easily. And then on the right-hand side, I've got all the comments there. So these are all the comments for all the destinations that I'm going live to, which is really, really cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just add Amanda, and I'm going to add Sasha. Hello. So this is a bit weird. I'm going to have to change back to this. Hold on a minute. How can I change my camera? I think I'm going to have to change my camera on this. Actually, no, I better not do that. So you're just going to have to see yourselves on the left, because otherwise it's going to go a little bit weird. But how are you guys?
Fine. Fancy meeting you here.
I know. It's a small world, isn't it? It's a small world. So
Yeah.
I got Heather's here as well. I think can I bring Heather in? There we go. So yeah, apologies for this. It's got a little bit weird. Let me just see. Can I, if I do this, is this going to work? I think it's going to work. Yeah, I'm running too many tools. So have you guys used StreamYard before?
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Only this end of it, being on someone else's broadcast. I've not used it to
okay.
start my own.
Same
I've
here.
Yeah, I've used it a lot. I love the being able to schedule. So scheduling it on for Facebook.
I'm glad you said schedule as well. That makes me feel better, because I keep on having to
Schedule.
translate it and say schedule. Yeah, Amanda and I had this chat before. Yeah, so it's great for these little group chats. So you can have up to 5 extra people on there, and you can bring people out, and you can even do things like what can I do? So can I change things? I can do things like that. I can put you, so I can be there on the left. If I can share screens as well if I was doing that, which is cool. And then of course I can highlight comments. So Heather, I can highlight your comment on there. Hooray for branding colors. So obviously if you're listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see any of this. But basically what StreamYard allows you to do is change the layout, and it has multiple guests on. And also it saves the video for later, which is great for repurposing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. So Sasha, what do you use StreamYard for at the moment?
So yeah, if I'm going to do a Facebook Live, I use it to schedule the Facebook Live ahead of time. Because I've always used StreamYard because it's free. You can do all of this with other platforms that we know, but it was never free. So I thought this is perfect. So I got completely hooked with StreamYard and use it a lot. Now, what I used to do, and I don't know, can you do this anymore, Ian? I'm asking you a question now. So if you do
putting me on the spot.
Yeah. So if you do schedule it ahead of time, what I used to then do is take that scheduled post and share it onto my profile and into my group. And then when I went live, it streamed live in both of those places at the same time.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So that's one of the great things about being able to schedule your live videos. And you can do this with Facebook, and you can do this with YouTube. And so you once you do that, you're then given the link, which you can then share out everywhere. So you can share it out to your newsletter, but you can also share it out to other places like Facebook groups, and the video will appear there, which is cool. So yeah,
great.
May I ask a question?
You can.
What do you find are the biggest differences between StreamYard and Zoom? Is that a fair question to ask?
That's a really good question. Yeah, so I think for just meetings, and if you want to have meetings of up to 50 or 100 people, Zoom is definitely the one to go for, because with StreamYard, you can only have 6 people. And StreamYard is built primarily for live streaming. So if you're going to live stream, then StreamYard is great because it will allow you to stream with having all the branding and all the colors and all this kind of thing, which is really cool. And also it's great with comments as well. Zoom doesn't allow you to manage any comments on the screen as well. And in fact, it actually plonks the Zoom logo on your live streams as well. So if live streaming is what you want to do, then I would go with something else. But if meetings with lots of people are what you want, then Zoom. But you could use both.
Okay. So if I really love the branding ability, it sounds like StreamYard may be the go, although I understand the other differences, like with the number of people you can have.
Yeah.
But if branding is my big...
Yeah, branding, if branding is your thing and you wanted to do a live show, then definitely consider StreamYard or some other live video platform. But having the ability to do those kind of things is great. If you just wanted to have a meeting with people, and if you're wanting simple live streaming, then Zoom is great. So there we go.
There's also no limit on the time. So if you're doing a webinar or you've got no limit on your time. So it's great for doing.
That's true.
Sasha, are you talking about StreamYard with that one?
Yeah.
Limitless, being limitless. Okay.
Limitless and free for now.
And of course, with just to clarify, with the free version with StreamYard, they do put their logo on the top right. But the paid version isn't too expensive, and you can remove that and add your own branding. So it's a great place to start. So
great.
There we go. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. It's been great to have you on twice. But I'm gonna. In a nice way, I'm going to remove you from StreamYard now. And thank you so much. It's been great to have you on.
Thanks.
See you soon. Bye. Bye. There we go. Awesome. Right. I nearly removed myself there. So there we go. Martin Buckland says, you are a technology magician, Ian. I'm envious. Well, it has taken some time to get to the stage, and you don't have to make it too complicated. So anyway, I think we're done. We've shed a lot on this show. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, then I recommend that you go to iag.me/podcast, and you can subscribe to this. You can also subscribe to the Confident Live Marketing Show in your favorite podcasting app, and so that you don't miss any of the shows that I do. So do that. That'd be cool. I'm just checking if there are any other questions on LinkedIn. See if LinkedIn is working. So Shonich says exercise video for kids. Johnny, this is from earlier. So how do you share your mobile on Zoom? That's a really good question. I'm going to have to play around with that, but there's different ways of doing it. So you can there's different apps that you can use. There's Reflector is one app. There's also on a Mac, you can use QuickTime, and then you can just share it in. But I will share a little bit more about that another time. Cool. And Carrie says also, I will have to watch the replay for all of these details. So anyway, I think that is it for this time. I'm going to be doing quite a few other live streams in the next few days, talking about how to cope with working from home, how to live stream events, how to live stream church services, that kind of thing. But I will leave it there. Until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits using the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.